Now, you are the ultimate wing girl for guys.
Yes.
How did you get this name?
I have been doing this for almost a decade now, but I was doing this well before that time for my male friends. And then when I moved out to Los Angeles, I went to a singles mixer at a rabbi's house, and nobody was talking to each other. So I literally started pulling men to go talk to women. I gave them feedback, insider points of view, and I got home and said, I want to do this for a living. Can I do it? Put an ad on Craigslist, and I had 75 guys respond by the next morning. Yeah, so I started.
Okay.
Wow.
If this were another country, say an old world country, and you were a little bit older, would you be referred to as the matchmaker in the village?
Oh, I wonder. I would love to be a matchmaker.
Yeah.
But the thing is that I mainly help men, because a lot of people say, oh, do you advise women as well? I can empower women to be stronger in stating what they want and what they need. But for men, I give them access to this, the female mind, where it's completely ego-free and I say things the way that they are. I'm not afraid to be honest about what women think, feel, and want.
So let's talk about this. We're talking about dating over the holidays. Why is it, maybe particularly now, maybe there are guys who want to find that relationship? Is it a timing thing?
Yeah, well, it's called cuffing season right now.
Yeah,
I heard you
that's
saying
right.
there's
Cuffing?
like a
What is
trendy.
cuffing?
I actually didn't know that trend, and then I have one of my bloggers who blogs for me. He said, oh yeah, it's cuffing season. She's from the UK, so she's like really hip and cool, so I listened to what she had to say. But cuffing season is as the holiday season comes up, it's all about family and being close and being with somebody. And it's kind of cold outside. So during that season, you do want to be with somebody. And then after, you get rid of them.
Is it just a matter of the family thing, not wanting to be alone? Is it like a desperation in not wanting to be?
It's actually biological. I don't know the exact science behind it, but it is. You are more inclined to want to partner up during... Yeah, nesting, exactly.
Okay.
And it's cold outside. But for people who are in couples already prior to couple season, that's a huge time for evaluation of whether or not they're going to continue their relationship. It's really interesting.
You've learned a lot. You've seen a lot. There was the famous movie, What Women Want. So what do you tell men that women want? What is the faux pas that you've seen when men are really out there trying to get a woman's attention?
Too hard, maybe.
You know, but what is it? What is it that what is the key piece of advice you give men?
Connection. So for a lot of guys, they focus on, what do I say to a woman? How do I say the right thing? And because they're so wrapped up in their heads, they forget to be present, and they forget to actually make a connection to a woman. For example, a lot of men will approach a woman they find attractive and just fire questions at her, which, like, for me as a woman, that makes me put my barriers up right away.
Right.
They don't ever share and try to connect. They don't appreciate the woman that they're talking to, and they don't actually listen to what's going on. Again, removing themselves from the situation.
Can I take for granted that pickup lines don't work?
They don't work.
Okay.
Unless you're saying them the right way, and unless they have complete integrity and character behind the lines, they don't work.
Just not cleverly designed. But okay, so let's start from square one. I know this. You go up to talk to somebody that you've never met before, and immediately what comes out of your mouth, and people have these, you know, they know how to do it, and it still sounds like an interview, which is supposed to be avoided. So how do you simply walk up to a woman and just introduce yourself, or like what's the first thing you do? What's the first step?
I tell men to approach using observation, so using observation on the world around them. So there's a coffee cup on the table, there's flowers over there, there's two hosts sitting in a chair. To observe something about the situation that they're in, so that they're not approaching saying, I want something from you. They're approaching because they're just talking, literally saying the things in their head out loud. And then after they make an observation, they share. So if I were to say, oh, this coffee cup, and then I would share by saying, you know what, I love big coffee cups. I've always had this thing about big coffee cups, the smaller ones, the drink, whatever it is that you want to share about your experience afterwards. And then it makes a woman more comfortable when you actually share something about yourself, because a lot of guys have the goal to get a woman to open up. And I tell them to lead by example. She's not going to open up because you're bombarding her with questions. She's going to open up because you're open as well, and she will follow the leader.
Mutual disclosure.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got questions for you. Marni, this is from someone who calls themselves Help. I need a wing girl. I have a big holiday function coming up. I have a huge crush on a woman that I know will be there. We've been introduced in the past, but I just haven't been able to muster up the courage to approach her the few times I've seen her. Help.
Okay, well, let's work with mindset first and intention.
Okay.
So for this guy, I would say don't focus on, okay, I'm going to ask her out, or I'm going to approach her, I'm going to ask her out, we're going to have lots of babies, like the big picture, right? You know, because a lot of people them. So if he can actually beforehand, if he wants, break it down and mentally rehearse approaching this woman. So what I would say is approach the woman with the intention of, I'm going to talk to her and see if I like her. And if I do, then we'll see what happens. But using observation and sharing, and then there's something else that it's on my website on winggirlmethod.com. Listen, confirm, affirm, which is the most important part for attraction and connection. Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Hi there. Just one. We have time for one more. Okay. Just curious, what is the biggest difference between men and women and how they approach the opposite sex?
Oh God, so different. Men and women. Women feel and men think. So men are trapped in their heads a lot of times thinking about what will work and what's the right thing and the wrong thing. And women actually feel. So if a man is approaching me, I can feel whether or not I'm attracted to them.
Right.
Wow.
You know what,
I have
Marni?
a longer answer, but we have 30 seconds. So
That's it.
Yeah.
You know what? This is fascinating. What's your website? You said
winggirlmethod.com.
Okay, and we'll put a link on CP24.com as well. Marni, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Thanks for all the tips.
And happy holidays.
Thank you.
Happy cuffing. 7:27.
Because it is cuffing season.
You're watching CP24 Breakfast.
It's cuffing season.